On today's five-star flex, I got a treat. My man, Brayden Jacobs, former New York Giants Super Bowl winning running back, Auburn Tiger, Southern Illinois too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Saluki.
sir, man. Hey, been everywhere. And outside of that, the father of four-star mammoth offensive tackle, Brayden Jacobs. BJ, what's going on, big dog?
Man, life is life, man. All good, man. Out here in Florida right now, man. We just arrived out here. Boys playing against American Heritage on Friday, so we came out to, I'm out here early.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we're gonna talk about Milton. We're gonna talk about that for sure. Well, let's start here. Brayden is committed to Clemson. You went to Auburn. Your wife went to Auburn. His uncles went to Auburn. I think grandparents might have went to Auburn. Like triple, quadruple legacy, and he chose Clemson. How did that come about?
Well, it came about, when I told Brayden, I said, man, listen, this is your recruitment, not mine. My wife said, this is your recruitment, not mine. We love Auburn. Auburn was recruiting them at the time, but they did a piss poor job, man. To be honest with you, they did a piss poor job in recruiting them. You know, I, we was they had it in the bag. They probably was a team that had it in the bag more than anybody else, but they didn't put forth much effort. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't think they were truly interested in as we were with him playing there. So we just let Braden handle his own thing, man. And he went to Clemson, fell in love, man. He fell in love with Coach Sweeney, and they ended up he fell in love with Clemson before Coach Luke got there. They had
Mm,
Thomas, who Braden also liked, but he also liked Coach Luke a lot because Coach Luke was a guy who came over to St. Francis to recruit Braden when he was at Georgia.
mm.
So they had already kind of started kind of a little bit of relationship. But everything has been great, man. They're still recruiting their asses off. They trying to call them and they text and stuff like that, man. They're still working and make sure that they lock him in, man. So I mean, just because they got him committed, they still doing more work now than any coaches ever did before he committed.
Oh wow. So listen, Brayden becomes his four-star offensive tackle. When did you know he was going to be special?
We went on junior day, man. We went on junior day. He was going into his junior season. They had just offered him that summer before we even went to Buford. They had just offered him. Well, I guess it was after we had got there, but um, they offered him, and June 1st came around. They called him the day before, and they offered him, and he had already liked it. He was hoping he got the offer from Clemson, and we was on vacation, and where were we? St. Martin, I want to say. We were somewhere, but we had a bunch of our family friends with us, and it was a real big deal, man. So they offered him, and they kept recruiting him, man. Like once they offered him, they recruited him, recruited him. He went up to the school. So when we went to junior day, they had some other offensive tackles there. Mason Shaw that just decommitted from Alabama. They had David Sanders there. They had Mile Waldrop there. It was some really good, solid players that was in the class of 25. So we sitting in there. It was just him and I was there. His mother wasn't there. We were sitting in the meeting with Coach Sweeney and just everybody was there. We was talking about Clemson and football program and the realistic numbers, what people talk about with Clemson and what they're not doing, but never fail to mention the numbers that they do with the highest graduation rate in college football. Next to like I think it might be like Yale or Stanford or something like that. They got the highest graduation rate for all players. And they were just talking, man. And I'm like, I said after the meeting was over, I said, man, honestly, if I was a kid looking to go to school and you guys were recruiting me, I'm going to Clemson. I'm closing the book today. We went outside after the meeting was over, and Braden looks at me. I said, look, son, you always coming up to Clemson. You've been to Clemson more than anybody else here. You've been to Clemson more than anybody else here. I know this is what you want to do. We trying to hold because I was trying to hold them off. I wanted to give Auburn an opportunity. I wanted to give LSU the biggest opportunity because me being from Louisiana, I wanted him to be able to do what I was never able to do. I kind of lived
Right.
through my kid a little. I like, you know what, that's wrong. I can't do that shit either. So I'm going to let him go do his own thing. So I said, Braden, it's up to you. None of these other guys have been here more than you.
Right.
So I said, this is what you can. All these other offensive tackles in 25 is here. You committing today would make them reevaluate coming to Clemson. Don't
Mm.
so you want to come here. once Brayden commits to Clemson, none of these other guys will commit because you're
Mm.
there. What sense it makes for them to commit to Clemson when they got another tackle that just did the same thing?
Right.
So we called his mom. We're like, hey, we know you're not here. Um, Brayden feels the need. He feels it. He wants to commit now, and that's it. He called his mom, and she said, "Son, do what you got to do," and he did it. And the rest was
Man, that's
history.
awesome. That's an awesome story, man. So
Yeah, I wanted him to make them reevaluate.
yeah, I mean, and when you think about it, like Brayden, not only did he make people reevaluate at Clemson, but the way that he transformed his body from last year to this year. Talk to me about the process of the reshaping of Brayden's body and how he's developed over the past year.
Well, I'm gonna give credit to Buford there, man. They got a good strength and conditioning program. He got there last two Januaries ago. Worked out in the weight room, did everything they asked him to do, and it happened, man. They really take good care of a lot of the guys that that they have there at Buford, man. Really a really good program. So I would like to credit that, and feeding him. Not the craziest thing. The guy don't really eat a whole lot of bad stuff. He kind of take care of himself. So it's still more transformer left. Left to be done. He's a kid, 6'8", 330 pounds, barely any fat on him. None, just muscle. So move really well. I'm just looking forward to see where he goes from here.
All right, speaking of Buford, we just heard about how good of a program they are and what they do. Everybody, Buford is world renowned. Brayden just transferred from Buford to Milton a week before the season. There's
Mm-hmm.
all time in Atlanta. That's one of the more controversial topics in high school football right now. Walk us through that decision and how has it been for you and your family? Because I know you hear what's going. I know you hear the streets are talking. So I wanted to give you an opportunity for people to hear it out of your own mouth.
So the last football season, well, last year we got to Buford, and it wasn't pleasant off rip. We had a distraction. He never really got in with the kids, the team at Buford. He never really did. He did as best as he can do from what his mother and I asked him to do. Right.
Right.
Um, Again, really good program, but things just didn't get started on the right foot with Brayden at Buford. So we played the season. He goes coming from St. Francis, a 1A school, goes to a 7A school, starts on the O line, left tackle. Does his thing and go through the season, give up one sack. But throughout all of that, man, we sensed him not being as happy.
Okay.
Wasn't as happy. He knew what he had to do. Just wasn't as happy there. But the season was over. Brayden sits me down and he said, "Daddy, I don't want to be here." And this is after last season. I'm like, "Son, you at Buford. This is a great program. You got people trying to knock down the door to get to Buford. You got people trying to find places to live here to get here for their kid to play football in Buford, man. Like, you're here. You just played the
Right.
season. Like, you're here. Like, Daddy, I don't feel like I'm cared about as much here by my teammates. I don't
Mm.
feel is anything. I don't know. But if you want me to stay cool, I'll stay. Every 3 weeks, Brayden will come back to his mother and I, right?
Right.
Then I started to be a little lenient with him, like, okay, this has some legs. The kid is serious. This is the second time he's talking about it. But my wife, like, no, we just moved here. We asked him if this the place that he was going to stay in for 2 years. He said yes. So we sold our house. We did all of this other stuff for him to be able to play here and be eligible. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. 3 weeks later, the kid comes back.
Mm.
All the way through like that second semester. This is February, March, comes back. So we get to like padded camp time, and he just not feeling it. I see he's hanging out by himself. I go to watch practice. He's hanging out by himself, not really talking to nobody. Nobody's really talking to him. None of that. He stands up with the team, and he was just by himself like the whole time. I'm like, something ain't right. Like,
Mm.
what's up with this? So the kid was just like, "Dad, I don't really have any real friends. I got guys I talk to, but my friends they're not here." And I know we got to go through a lot, but I'm just not really enjoying it. It's my senior year, and I'm not really having a whole lot of fun. It doesn't seem as a close. It's just not for me. He just felt like going into Buford was something that was harm done to him because he didn't have any connections there, right? Everybody
Right.
else that were there, they've been there like together. But the poor kid, man, we forced him. Well, more so his mom than me, but it is what it is. But
Right.
we was forcing him to be that, man, and the kid was just like, man, okay, okay, if I got to stay here and I'm not as happy here playing with these guys, and I don't really have any friends on the team, I want to leave. I don't want to play here, and I don't think I'm gonna play football like this year. So I said, Brayden, I said, are you using this excuse to not play football because you don't want to play football? Maybe you think about that. Is it something you don't want to do and you don't know how to tell us that you don't want to play football anymore when you're
Right.
almost to where you want to be? He was like, no. I 100% plan on going to Clemson in December, playing football, and going to the NFL. I 100% feel like that's what I'm going to do. I don't have to play football like this year. I'm not happy, just a whole lot. He didn't really feel a connection with his coach. You know, it was just a whole lot of things, man. But nonetheless, my wife and I, we were really trying to force him to do so. I mean, the kid did everything we asked him, like to do. So he came home like one day, like after Camp Buford or whatever it was that they had when the guys stay there. He said, I'm not going back over there. I said,
Mm.
what? He said, I'm not going back. I'm done. I'm done playing over there. I'm like, what you mean, son? Like, I'm done. I'm just gonna go to school. If you guys don't want to take me to another school or take me where the guys even now, he said, I want to go to Milton. I said, well, why Milton? He said, well, that's where everybody you coached is that. Like, there's guys on Milton's team that have been playing with him since he was 7 years old.
Oh
So
wow.
he knew they cared about him, right?
Mm.
He knew they cared about him. And I said, have anybody that reached out to you about anything? And we're like, no. I just see the majority of my teammates over there, and that's where I want to go finish my high school career. Over there with the boys I know that care about me and the guys I've been going to battle with since we were 7, 8 years old. So I was
Man.
like, and they had a good bit of the guys that he went to St. Francis with. Played
Right.
up through the North. Some of them was there from the age of 11. They went to middle school together in St. Francis. Played freshman, sophomore year together in St. Francis. So he that's where I want to go. I want to go play with my boys. If I want to go anywhere, I want to go play and finish my high school career with the guys I started playing with. I said,
Mm-hmm.
son, but you had beautiful. Like, this is beautiful. Like, we really tried to make him stay. We really tried, but just wasn't working, man. And the kid wanted to go. And ever since, and I know this is probably a problem for any team. When you already short a lineman and you need linemen and your starting left tackle just up and leaves, I get the upset. I get why Buford is upset. The coaches, I get why they're upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my son's happiness comes first, man. And just like we wanted him to stay there, we wanted him to be happy. We see a totally different guy now that we've seen over the last year and a half. He's a
Right.
totally different kid than he was then. He's celebrating with his teammates now. He's posting on Instagram. He just be like, he don't ever do that. His mom ran his Instagram page for a long time, man. And yeah, so he's doing all of this stuff now. He's happy. He's hanging out with his teammates. Like, he will come home from practice and go in his room and play his game. Brayden got a girlfriend at Buford, and he still wanted to leave. He still wanted to
Man.
leave. This is just not this is a girl he spent a lot of time with.
Right.
And he still to leave there. So I can't be mad at the kid for wanting to leave and wanting to go find something where he was happy and wanting to go play with people who he felt like cared about him. Not only him as a football player, but cared about his well-being. Like, not the coaches per se, but the kids on the team who know him, who played with him from the age of 7 all the way to now. So I can't blame him. So, man, we made a quick move and made it happen, man. So we could be eligible. And I get why people are angry, the coaches anyway. Everybody else, they could be mad. They need to worry about their own kids and what's going on there and try not to go on 2 this week. So,
Oh Lord.
so You know what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff was said out of there, man. A lot of
Right.
stuff was said out of there, myself and my family and stuff like that. So we was going to take Quinn back to Buford.
Right.
We was over and we put our house up for sale. And if our house would have sold, we were going to go get another crib because Quinn wanted to go to Buford. But after all the stuff that had been coming out and the kids got hold of this passage that some parent wrote and posted it in a group, and it got all through social media. So Quinn looked at me like, I don't want to go back there either. We was going to take him back. We was going to take him back there in January. That's how much we
Right.
believe in the program. We believe, my wife and I believe in the Buford program. We believe in the
Right.
program.
Right.
After all of that, I'm like, dude, no. He was like, all right, cool. I'm going to stay at Milton then. And that's what it was. And that's where we at now. Brayden just didn't want to be there, man. He just didn't want
And
to
we
be
talking
there.
about and really, and for those that don't know, Brayden is the 4-star. He's class of 25, but Quinn is a class of 27, is he?
28.
Class of 28, and he's more of an edge rusher, correct?
The edge rusher, the kid right now is 6'2.5", almost 6'3", about 215 pounds, straight muscle. He's going to be a better athlete than Brayden. No question about that. Brayden's a great athlete, so don't get me wrong, but Quinn's going to be a guy that's about 6'5", standing about at 270,
Mm.
coming off the edge, fast, good hands, good speed, good, strength going to be good. I got no doubt in my mind that he'll be a top edge rusher coming out of his class.
Oh wow, man, that's got to be exciting, man. So how does it feel? Like you got two dogs in the kennel, like you got one you're sending to Clemson, you got another one that'll be playing Power 4 football in a little while. As a father, how good is it to just sit back and say, man, like I did a good job raising two boys?
Yeah, man. With my wife and I, man, we kind of put it all into the kids, man. Like, they wanted to play football and they wanted to go to the next level. They wanted to continue to go to each level up. So I know I got a lot of resources I have. I've been to every level of football, and I told them what you got to do. Like, this is what you got to do. It's take sacrifice to be able to do that. When you wake up on Saturday morning and I want you to go push a sled, you got to go push that damn sled versus playing a video game. So it's just a sacrifice that they got to make. And the kids have been nothing short of extraordinary, man. My wife has been nothing short of perfect with being that supportive person for them. Because trust me, times playing through me and playing under me, they needed her support. Because I wasn't the easiest guy to play for, and every kid I coached could probably tell you that I was hard on them. I was real hard on them because once you tell me what it is you want to do and the goals that you want to achieve, if it's somewhere that I've been and know what it takes to be there, I'm on your ass. I'm gonna make sure you do what's needed to get there because I want you to achieve your goals just as much as you do.
Right, man. BJ, where can everybody find you on social media?
Man, well, you already know it. Just go to Brayden Jacobs on Instagram.
Yep.
That's NYG TD record 27. Y'all go over that again. That's NYG
Yep.
He as in touchdown record 27. And that's Instagram and of course Twitter. I'm Brayden Jacobs 27 on Twitter. Brayden is Brayden Jacobs 27. I'm sorry, Brayden Jacobs 77 on Twitter and Instagram. And Quinn is the Quinn Jacobs 26 on Instagram, I want to say. He be changing his handle, but that's where you can find the Jacobs clan at, right there, man. So, Duke, listen, I really appreciate the interview, man. I like what you're doing so far. Watching you grow has been something great, seeing where you started at. So, man, I really appreciate the grind that you're going to put down.
Nah, man, I appreciate it, man. We go back, man, and it's always good just to be able to kind of circle back, man, and do it this way. Hey, before we get out of here, we had a conversation. BJ, is it a chance that you're going to strap it up again? I keep hearing about you possibly being an edge rusher or possibly a running back, and you look like you're in great shape. Is it a chance you'll strap it up again?
Absolutely not. I trained and try to get ready to come back and be an edge rusher, but my body didn't recover in a timely manner. It needed to recover to be able to get back to battle. So
okay,
I think that alone was going to be something that stopped me from being able to make that attempt, to try that attempt, because I trained for like 4 or 5 weeks straight, was getting in shape, lifting. But after those like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, a lot of pain started to sit in. And I tried to go back out there the next day. I couldn't do it. The next day I couldn't do it. The next day I couldn't do it. That's 3 or 4 days of rest, which I wouldn't have if I played in the league.
Right.
So that told me right there, you might feel like you're in great shape, but your body is not recovering like it needs to be recovering to be able to go back to battle that next Sunday or Thursday or Monday, whatever it was. Yeah. So I kind of took that and put it in the trash can, man, and never went back to it.
Hey, man, it's always good. It's always fun. And shoot, man, we'll do it again before the season over with.
Yeah, man, Duke, I appreciate you.